Good evening, all of you. In the last session, we discussed about what is S3, how to create the buckets in the S3, and how to upload the object into our S3 bucket, what is versioning, what is storage class, what is the encryption, all the details we have discussed. Okay, now today I'm going to tell you how to host one static website in the S3 bucket. How to host one static website in our S3 bucket. All right, guys, what is the meaning of your website? Now, can you see ashokaitech.com? Can we say this is one website now? Can we say this is one website now? Guys, come on. People are not responding. Please respond.
Yes, sir.
So this is a website. What is the meaning of your website? Website is nothing but collection of web pages. Can I say website is nothing but collection of web pages?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Website is nothing but collection of web pages. Now, I want to create one S3 bucket. I want to create one S3 bucket, and I want to store my files related to the website, and I want to run my website in the S3 bucket. I want to run my website in the S3 bucket. This is called static website hosting using S3. Static website hosting using S3. What we need to do here is create a bucket in S3 with the bucket name. You can give any name for the bucket. Here I'm giving my bucket name as ashokit.org. I'm giving this name as my bucket name. Here, guys, you need to choose unique name for the bucket and uncheck block public access. That means I want to provide that bucket for public access. Once I have done that, I need to configure policies for my bucket. I need to configure policies for my bucket. Go to the bucket policy and configure these details. That means I want to provide public access for this bucket. Once it is done, upload static website files and make them as public access. So these are my website files. Index.html for main content, error.html for wrong URL, and assets. This folder contains images, styles, etc. This folder contains images and styles, etc. This is my website data. Index.html is my main web page. Error.html is whenever something wrong in the server, then I want to display the error page. I want to display some logos and images. Those I am keeping in the assets folder. Assets. All right. Then go to bucket properties and choose static website hosting. We need to go for static website hosting option. Configure the welcome file and error file. It will display the URL and access that URL. Then our website will be ready. Before going to show you that website, first let me execute the website in the local. Guys, can you see? Can you see my static website assets folder, index.html, error.html? Go to index.html, open with Google Chrome. Now, can you see my website is opening in the local? Can you see my website is opening in the local? Yes. Can you see in error.html? Open with Chrome. Open with Chrome. So this is the error page. If there is something wrong in the website, then I will say there is something wrong. Please check URL and try again. There is something wrong. Please check the URL and try again. This is the error page. All right. And this is my main web page, static web page. Static web page is available. You can click on these buttons and you can see all the details here. Now, whatever the files we have, I want to upload these files as objects into S3 bucket. Then I want to host one website by using these static files. Are you guys getting my point? What is the meaning of static website hosting? I have the web pages. I want to keep these web pages in the S3 bucket, and I want to set up my application in the Amazon so that you people also can access my website. Now, guys, see here what I am going to do in order to set up this. First, I need to create a bucket. Observe the steps carefully. I'm going to create a bucket. What is the name I am giving for the bucket? ashokit.org. What is the region? Guys, see, when I'm selecting the yes, when I select EC2 instance, it is pointing me to which region, guys? When I go for EC2, which region I'm selecting? I want you people to speak out today. When I select EC2 service, it is pointing me to which region? Mumbai region. That means EC2 is a region based or EC2 is not region based? EC2 is
region based.
region based. Now, let me go to services. Let me click on S3. When I click on S3, S3 is a regional service or S3 is a global service?
Global service.
Can you see the region change it to global?
Yes.
Can I select any region here?
Yes, sir.
No.
Can I select any region from the S3? No. Why? For EC2, we can select the region. For EC2, we can select the region. But for S3, can we select the region or we cannot select the region?
We cannot select the region.
We cannot select the region. We cannot select the region for S3. Are you guys able to understand? Now, when I go for EC2, it is asking me to select the region. I'm selecting the region as a Mumbai. EC2 is a regional service. EC2 is a regional service. Now, when I go for services and S3, when I go for services and S3, it is converting me to, it is changing me to default, that means global. It is changing me to global. Okay. Now click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. Now bucket name should be unique. Sir, buckets are global or buckets are regional based? Buckets are global or buckets are regional based? Buckets are regional. S3 is global, buckets are regional. Very good. Now, here I'm going to enter my bucket name as ashokit.org. This is my bucket name. I will tell you the reason also why I am taking this name. ashokit.org I'm taking as my bucket name. Now, in which region we want to create this bucket? In which region we want to create this bucket? Mumbai region. I'm creating this bucket in the Mumbai region. ACLs enabled. I want to make them as a public access. Bucket ownership, object ownership I'm giving as ACLs enabled. Now, block all public access. Uncheck this checkbox. Uncheck this checkbox. Accept this agreement. Bucket versioning. If you want, you can enable the versioning. Encryption. If you want, you can enable the encryption also. Versioning is there. If you want, you can disable. By default, it is disabled. Now, advanced settings. Object lock is disabled. Object lock is disabled. Okay, fine. Click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. Now, guys, my bucket is created, which is ashokit.org. Once this bucket is created, click on this bucket name, go to properties. Go to properties. Now, here there are several properties are available for the bucket. Can you see option called static website hosting? Static website hosting option is also available. Go to permissions. Go to permissions. Do you have a bucket policy? Bucket policy written in the JSON, which provide access to objects stored in the bucket. Bucket policies don't apply to objects owned by other accounts. Now, I'm going to configure this policy. This is a JSON format. Version, ID I'm configuring, effect, allow, principal, star, action, s3.get object resource, ashokit.org. So I'm configuring a policy for my bucket. I want to provide public access for my bucket. Go to bucket policy. Go to bucket policy and configure below policy for the bucket. Now edit this, remove this, and copy the policy. I have copied the policy which I have configured here. I have copied the policy which I have configured here. Now click on save changes. Click on save changes. Did I configure it? Did I configure it? Did I configure the policy? All right. I have configured my policy. Once the policy is configured, upload static website files and make them as public access. Okay. Now policy is configured. Now go to objects. Guys, I have done 2 steps now. I created a bucket in the S3. I gave you a unique name for the bucket and I have configured policy for the bucket. You can configure your bucket name you have to give here. Whatever the bucket name you give, that bucket name you have to provide here. Now click on upload. I want to upload the object. Add files. Go to add files. Now here I have the files for static website 1, error.html, index.html. I have 2 files, error.html and index.html, and add a folder. Assets is a folder. I'm uploading all the content of that assets folder. Permissions, private, recommended, but I'm making public. Grant the public access for this. I'm making all the files as public access. Storage class you can select here. The default storage class we are going for standard FA, frequently accessed. Monthly, at least monthly, more than once we can access. Click on upload. All the files and folders are uploaded to S3 bucket. So 3 steps I have completed. I created a bucket with a name called ashokid.org. Then I configured this bucket policy with the bucket name. Then I have uploaded my static website files, index.html for the main content, error.html for the wrong URL. Good. All the files are uploaded successfully. Close it. Guys, can you see all the files are uploaded now? Assets folder contain styles, fonts, images, JavaScript files, plugins. Okay. Now coming to main files, index.html file is available, which is a text. Then next one, error.html is available. Index.html, error.html, and assets are available. So inside this bucket, there are 3 objects available. Now come back to that bucket. Now inside this bucket, can you go to properties, go to bucket properties and choose static website hosting. Here bucket versioning is available, bucket overview, bucket encryption, intelligent tiering archive configuration, server access logging, cloud trial, and event bridge, transfer acceleration. If you want to use the Amazon network, then you can go for transfer acceleration for faster data transfer, object lock, then static website hosting. Can you click on edit, enable static website. Guys, see here, when we enable the static website, it is asking host a static website, then index document. Specify the home page or default page of the website. Home page I'm going to configure as index.html. For error, I'm configuring error.html. Do we have these files in the bucket already? Index.html and error.html. Already I have uploaded index.html and error.html in my bucket. Inside this bucket already those files are available. Now guys, observe once again, I'm repeating the step. I have created one bucket S3, ashokid.org. For this bucket I have added policy. Then I have uploaded 3 objects. One is index.html, second one is error.html, another one is assets folder. Index.html is my web page, which is the home page of my website. Error.html is the problematic file. Whenever some problem occurs in the project, then this error file will be displayed. Assets is available. Assets is a folder which contains some images, styles, fonts, and all. Now go to properties of this bucket. In this bucket, we have an option called static website hosting. There is an option called static website hosting. Click on edit, click on enable. I want to host a static website. Select, go to properties, choose static website hosting, enable the static website, check enabled, make it as enable. make it as enabled, configure welcome file and error file. Configure welcome file and error file. Choose host a static website. Hosting type as a static website. Hosting type as static website. That means HTML files I want to host as a website which are available in my S3. Make it as enabled. Hosting type I am choosing as static website. Configure index document. Configure index document and error document. Index document and error document. Configure index document as index.html. Configure error document as error.html. Configure error document as error.html. Because we have uploaded those files. Name can be anything. I have given index.html for a website, error.html for wrong content. Now, once it is done, click on Save Changes. Click on Save Changes. It is asking index document. The name is index.html and it is error.html. Error.html. Click on Save Changes. Now, successfully edited static website hosting. Now go to static website. Is it generated a URL for our bucket, guys? Is it generated a URL for our bucket? Now click on this. Can you see my bucket is, my static website is running in the S3? Check this URL. Are you able to access my website? Check this URL. Are you able to access my website? Are you able to access my website? Yes, that is called static website hosting. That is called static website hosting. Now, I will give you these files as a zip file so that you can also use this for your practice purpose. Static website content. Static website content.zip. I will upload this in the Telegram so that you can use this content for your practice, because there are some non-IT people, they don't know what is this. What is this? So I will give you this content. Yeah, guys, I have given static website content as a zip file. Can you download that zip and can you use that for your website hosting? Can you use that for your website hosting? Yes, I have given static files. Guys, here you have to configure your bucket name. I have given my bucket name as ashoka.org. So whatever the bucket name you give, the same name you need to write the bucket policy. This bucket policy is used to enable public access, guys. That's it. This bucket policy is used to give the public access. Public access. So we are going to talk about these policies in the IAM. When it comes to IAM, there we are going to configure the policies. I will explain about the policies there. So here it is just a JSON policy, which is going to provide the public access for our bucket and our bucket objects. Got it? Read the steps now. How to host static website using S3. How to host static website using S3. Create a bucket in S3. Bucket name ashoka.org. Enter unique name for the bucket. Uncheck the block public access. Go to bucket policy and configure below policy for the bucket. Go to bucket click on permissions and configure bucket policy. Where we are configuring the bucket policy? In the permissions, we are configuring bucket policy. Click on the bucket, go to bucket, go to permissions, edit policy and configure below policy for the bucket. Go to bucket, go to permissions, go to edit policy and configure below policy for that bucket name. Go to objects, upload static website files. Go to objects, upload static website files. Make them as public access. Index HTML, error HTML and assets folder. Once we have uploaded these things, go to bucket properties and choose static website hosting option. Go to bucket properties and choose static website hosting option. Make it as enabled. Hosting type as a static website. Configure index document as index.html. Configure error document as error HTML. It will display URL, access that URL, then our static website will be displayed. This is my bucket URL. This is my website URL. If you access this URL, then that website is displaying. So like this, we can host static website. We can host static website by using S3. Are you clear with my point? Yeah. Guys, so with this, did you understand what is static website hosting? With this, do you understand what is S3? How to create the buckets in S3? How to upload the objects in S3? How to host a static website in S3? Very good. Now, next one, guys, I want to configure a beautiful URL for my website. That is called as Route 53. Now, guys, see here in the real time, what is happening is, if you take any application in the real time, is it deploying in one server? The application will be deployed in the multiple servers. Application will be deployed in one server, or applications will be deployed in the multiple servers. Applications will be deployed in the multiple servers. Now, can I say it is instance 1? Can I say it is instance 1? And can I say it is instance 2? And can I say it is instance 3? And this instance will have a IP 192.168.1.1. Assume like that. This is IP of this instance. This is IP of this instance. This is IP of this instance. Now, why we are going for multiple instances for our application? Why we are going for multiple instances for our application, guys? Can anyone tell me why we are going for multiple instances for our application? To distribute the load. Now, if I am having my application running in the multiple instances, am I giving all the IP addresses to the people to access our application? Are we giving all these IP addresses for the people to access our application? No. We are going to create one load balancer. What we are going to do, guys? We are going to create one load balancer. What is the purpose of this load balancer? It is used to distribute the load of our application. Is this clear? Now, this is a LBR. LBR will have a URL, right? LBR also will have a URL. What URL will be available? http://alb/alb/. I'm going to give some name, my LBR / Amazon Amazon, AWS.com, something like this. So now our application will have a URL like this. So now, is it recommended to give this URL for the people to access our application? Is it recommended to give this URL for the people to access our application? No. Then what we are going to do? We are going to take one more thing that is called as Route 53. One more service that is offered by AWS, which is called as Route 53. Now, whatever the request that user is sending, www.facebook.com, www.facebook.com, a beautiful URL user is going to use to access our website. But what is happening? Route 53 will map that URL to this LBR URL, and it is going to talk to this LBR. Now, facebook.com URL is mapped to this URL. How that is happening? Route 53. So what is the meaning of Route 53? Can you see what is Route 53? Route 53 in the Amazon. Route 53 in the Amazon. Can you read it? Route 53 is a highly available and scalable cloud domain name system web service. It is designed to give developers and businesses an extremely reliable and cost-effective way to route end users to internet applications by translating names like www.example.com into numeric IP addresses like this that computers uses to connect to each other. Amazon Route 53 is a fully compliant with IPv6 as well. Now, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? When a user is sending a request to this www.facebook.com, this is the domain name. But actually, where our application is running inside a machine. The machine will have a IP. The mapping between the application URL. Now, every application will have a domain. Every application will have a domain. Now, something like this, www.facebook.com. But actually, application is running inside a machine. The machine is having a IP, Facebook application, Facebook app. The Facebook is having IP, that machine is having IP 192.168.3.1.1. Like this, there is some IP is available. Are we giving the users the IP address, or we are giving the domain name for the users? Are we going to give the IP for the users, or we are going to give the domain name for the users? We are going to give the domain name for the users. Then what is the mapping between the domain name and this? How the mapping will created between this domain name and this IP? How this mapping is happening? So this is the domain name. When user access this domain name, then that request should come to this IP address, guys. That is the machine where our application is running. When user access this domain name, it is coming to this IP. How it is coming? That's where Route 53 service is available. That's where Route 53 service is available. What is the purpose of Route 53? Route 53 service is used to route the traffic from domain URL to server IP. Route 53 is used. Route 53 service is used to map application domain name to machine server IP. When user access the domain name, that request will be routed to the IP address of the machine where our application is running. When user access domain name in the browser, end user, we will provide domain names. We will provide domain names for end users. We will provide domain names for end users. When user access the domain name in browser, when user access domain name in browser, then Route 53 will route that request to server IP where the app is running. Now, guys, now tell me, when we are accessing facebook.com, when we are accessing facebook.com, this is a domain name or not? Facebook is a domain name or not? Come on. But where actually the Facebook application is running? Where actually the Facebook application is running? Now let's go for flipkart.com. Flipkart.com. What is this flipkart.com? Can we say that flipkart.com is a domain name? Can we say that flipkart.com is a domain name? Now, where the Flipkart application is running? Inside a machine. That machine will have a IP or not? Then how? Whenever I type a www.facebook.com in the browser, it is going to IP address of that computer where the application is running. They are mapping the domain name to the IP address by using which service in the AWS? Route 53 service in the AWS. Now, we are having a static website. We are having a static website. Come on, guys. We are having a static website. Can I map my static website URL to a beautiful URL? So this is a lengthy URL. Can I give to my clients, this is the URL of the website? Can I give this URL to the people? Hey, this is my website URL. Can you please access? People will spit on my face. Arey, what is this URL, Ra? This much length is there. Can anybody remember this URL? Can anybody remember this URL? People will laugh at me when I give this URL to the public. They cannot remember this URL. Can I give IP address of the computer for the people? If you want to access my website, type 192.168.1.1.2. Can I tell to public like that? So what we need to do here, if you want to promote your business, if we want to promote our business, then what we need to do, guys? If we want to promote our business, then what we need to do? We need to configure our lengthy URL to simple URL, beautiful URL. We need to configure lengthy URL to simple URL. Now, this is my static website URL. What is this, guys? My static website URL. I want to configure this. I want to map this URL to one beautiful URL called ashokit.org. I want to map this URL. Can I give this ashokit.org URL to the public? Can I give ashokit.org URL to the public? Yes or no? Then, if people access this URL, then the request should go to the static website URL. So this is beautiful URL. This is beautiful URL. Beautiful URL for my application. This is what? This is actual URL. This is actual URL of my app. Actual URL of my website. Actual URL of my website is this. But people are interested to take actual website URL, or people are interested for beautiful URLs? Clients are interested for beautiful URLs, or clients are interested for the actual URLs? Beautiful URL. Then I want to map this. I want to map this. How I will do this mapping? By using Route 53. What is the service, guys? Route 53. Now, public will access which URL now? Public will access which URL now? For the public, I will give the beautiful URL. When the public access my beautiful URL, that URL will route the request to actual application URL using Route 53. I hope you understand what is Route 53 now. I hope you got the concept of Route 53 now. Understood what is Route 53? End user is going to access my beautiful URL. That beautiful URL I will map to actual application URL by using Route 53. Now, guys, if you want to route your, this is called domain name mapping. This process is called as DNS mapping, domain name service mapping. This process is called as domain name service mapping. So now tell me, for every application, DNS mapping will be available or DNS mapping will not be available? Every project which is running in the internet having a DNS or will not have a DNS? Every project running in the internet will have a DNS. To do the DNS, we have to purchase the domain first. Note, to map DNS, we have to purchase domain first. We have to purchase domain first. Now, yearly Amazon charging yearly in AWS domain charges are depends on your business. Now, some people may go for .com domain, some people may go for .in domain, some people may go for .org like this. .in domain will be available, .com domain will be available, .info domain will be available, .org domain will be available, .edu will be available like this, etc. There are several domains are available. Minimum domain cost in AWS is $12 per year. You have to purchase a domain, guys. Route 53, if you want to use Route 53, you have to purchase a domain, $12. $12 you have to pay. Today, I have purchased a domain in the AWS, guys. I have purchased a domain called ashokit.org. I have purchased this domain in the AWS by paying $12 in the account. Now, I will show you that where I have purchased that class notes or documents. No, some image, yeah. Domain registration charge. Today, I have registered a domain in the Amazon Web Service. Now, can you see how much they have charged from me? Can you see how much they have charged from me? How much they have charged for 1 year? 1075 rupees. 1000 rupees I have paid to purchase the domain. Today only I have purchased it, guys. Today only I have purchased the domain because today I want to teach you, yes, Route 53 service. To teach you Route 53 service, I need a domain. So I have purchased a domain by paying 1100 rupees. For how many days that domain will be available with me? The domain will be available with me for next 1 year. ashokit.org, the domain is available for 1 year. Now, guys, if you want to spend that 1000 rupees, then you can purchase a domain with your name, then you can practice Route 53. But in the real time, definitely we need to go for Route 53. Right now, so do I have my static website running? Do I have static website running in the AWS S3? Is that URL looking beautiful? Is this URL looking beautiful? That URL is not looking beautiful. Can I map that URL to domain name? Can I map that URL to domain name by using Route 53? I can map that URL to this beautiful URL by using Route 53. If I want to go for Route 53, what I have to do, guys? I have to purchase a DNS. Domain I have to purchase. So the domains are having different extensions. .in, .com, .info, .org, .edu, .adult, like that. There are so many domain extensions are available in the AWS. According to your requirement, you can purchase. Minimum domain cost they are charging $12 per year. 1075 rupees this are debited from my account. Now let me go to AWS. Already my S3 bucket URL is running, guys. My S3 bucket is running. I need this URL. I need to copy this URL or else. Okay, no problem. Let's go here. Type Route 53 service. Route 53. Scalable DNS and domain name registration. Scalable DNS and domain registration. You can purchase a domain and you can configure DNS for your application. Now I will configure the DNS for my static website. Guys, if you go to this Route 53 dashboard, What is it is saying that domain registration. Do I have here one domain? Do I have one domain? Yes. Click on this domain. Click on this domain. This is my registered domain. When I have registered this today, when it is going to expire? 2023 April 8. I have purchased this today, 2022 April 8 I have purchased. 2022 April 8. Today only I have purchased this ashokit.org domain. So next year back, I can use this domain. Now, if you want to purchase a new domain, click on register domain. Click on register domain. Now you can check the domain name. Now I want to go for Ashok IT classes. Check it. Ashok IT classes. Check it. Is the domain available? Is this available? Yes, it is available. Can you check it? Ashok iTech. Already I am using the domain for our institute website. Our institute website domain is what? ashokitech.com. Can anyone purchase the same domain? Can anyone purchase the same domain, Ashok iTech? Check it. Is the domain available or it is unavailable? Because I'm already using the domain for my website. You cannot use the same domain. Now, Ashok IT. Can you check with this Ashok IT? ashokit.com. Is this domain available? This domain is also not available. Somebody is using that domain. Now, ashokit.com. If I go for a .com extension, how much they are charging? $12. $12. If I go for a .org, check it. .org. Is the .org available? No. I only purchased it today. That is not available. Can you go for a .io? Can you go for a .io? Check it. Check it. .io. How much money I have to pay for IO? ashokit.io. $71 per 1 year. $71 per 1 year. Suppose if your name is, can tell somebody name? Raju Rani. Yeah. rajurani.com. Check it. Someone is using rajurani.com. We can't do anything. Rani Raju. Check it. This is available. raniraju.com is available. You can take that domain. You can take that domain. Clear, guys? Clear with this? Yeah. So you can check it. You can check it. What are the domains? Oh my God. How many extensions are available? Can you see? .com, .net, .org, .com.au, .co.uk, .uu, .us, .me, .ce, .de, .co, .info, .io, .ac, .academy, .accounts, .adult, .agency, .apartments, .associates, .au, .auction, .band, band games, BE, bike, biz, black, blue, boutique, builders, cab, camp, camera, careers, Casio, .chat, .cleaning, .co, .coffee, .computer, .cool, .coupons, .credit, .dance, .dating, .digital, .domains, .education, .engineering, .exchange, .expert, .fail, .finance, financial, football. There are so many names are available. If you want to purchase a lowest price, .link is available, I think. .link domain $5. .link domain $5. You can purchase for 500 rupees. You can invest 500 rupees for practice, guys. You can invest 500 rupees for practice. Now, you can take ashokit.link. It is available. ashokit.link domain is available. It is for $5. That means almost they will charge 500 rupees from you. .link is $5. You can purchase that domain. Now, what is the process to purchase? Now, once you select this domain with your name, then check what extension you want. The cheapest extension is, I think, .link only, which is having $5. Click on check it. Once you click on check it, it will tell you whether the domain is available or not. If the domain is available, click on add to cart. Now the domain is added to my cart. Register for how many years? Do you want to register this domain for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 10 years? If you go for 10 years, $50 they are charging. If you go for 5 years, $25 they are charging. $5 into 5 years, $25 they are charging. If you go for 1 year, $5 they are charging. Dot link. Okay. Once you have done this option, add to cart, this button add to cart, go to continue. Go to continue. It is asking all your details here. You have to enter all the details and you click on continue. You click on continue. Now, once you have done this, click on continue, accept the license agreement, then complete the order. If you click on the complete order, then the domain request will be placed. The domain request will be placed. Once you place the request for the domain, then you need to go for billing. As I told you, AWS will not deduct amount from your account directly. You have to pay the money from your account to the AWS. AWS will generate the invoice. You have to pay the bill. Once you click on the complete order, then domain registration request will be generated. In the billing, go to the billing service here. In the billing service, that invoice will be available. You have to pay the amount. You have to pay the amount. Billing summary. Now, USD current month total forecast $14. USD $14. I think that is the bill generated for me. Now, account cost, purchase orders. You go to purchase orders. Here, purchase orders will be displayed. If you have a purchase order, then you have to pay the bill for that. You have to pay the bill for that. Okay. You do domain registration, then you go there and you pay the bill. Once you pay the bill, then the domain will be registered by your name. If you just place the order, it will not come, guys. After placing the order, you need to go to billing service and you need to pay the bill amount. Today I have paid that 1,000 rupees so that I got this domain. Now, so once you have purchased the domain, once you place the request for the domain registration, go to the billing dashboard, pay the bill amount. Once you paid that bill amount, then come to Route 53 service. Route 53 service, this is the dashboard of the Route 53. Come to here, registered domains. Can you see registered domains? How many domains I have registered? How many domains I have registered? Only one domain I have registered. Transfer domain, transfer domain, transfer up to 5 domains. You can each domain name below. If you want to transfer the domain from here to GoDaddy, from GoDaddy to AWS, AWS to GoDaddy, such kind of domain transfers also you can do. Such kind of domain transfers also you can do. Okay, now I don't want to go for any domain transfer. I want to use this domain so that I can route the traffic of my beautiful URL to this lengthy URL. I want to configure this. Okay, minimum domain cost in AWS is $12 per year for a .com extension. For a .com extension. .link extension having $5. Okay, cost is changing based on the extensions. Depends on your business domain extensions. Business domain extensions. Minimum domain cost in AWS is $12 per year for .com extension. .link extension, $5. $5. Here you can register the domain up to 10 years. We can register the domains. We can register the domains up to 10 years. That is the limit. We can register the domains minimum 1 year and maximum 10 years. Now, I have registered the domain for 1 year, guys. I have registered the domain for the 1 year. Now go to here, register domains available. I have a domain called ashokit.org. Now go to hosted zones. Go to hosted zones. We need to create one hosted zone to configure our DNS. We need to go for hosted zones to configure our DNS. Now, I will configure the DNS for my static website. I will configure the DNS for my static website. Guys, do I have any hosted zones here? No. Click on create a hosted zone. Create a hosted zone. Domain name, I'm not giving anything. I'm not giving anything. This is the name of the domain that you want to route the traffic for. Okay. What is the domain name? ashokit.org. Configuring hosted zone, public hosted zone so that people can access from outside. Create hosted zone. Now ashokit.org was successfully created. Now here these requests are created by default. NS request, SOA request is created. Fine guys, I have created hosted zone. So procedure to host, procedure to configure DNS mapping. What is the procedure to configure DNS mapping? First step, purchase the domain in AWS. First step, register a domain. Register domain using Route 53 register domain option. Register domain using Route 53 register domain option. Second one, go to billing dashboard. Go to billing dashboard and pay bill amount. And pay bill amount. Automatic deduction is not there in the AWS, guys. You have to pay the bill amount. Go to billing dashboard and pay bill amount. Then create a hosted zone. Create hosted zone with our domain name. Example, my domain name is ashokit.org. My domain name is ashokit.org. Okay. Now I have created hosted zone. Once the hosted zone is created, now observe carefully. I need to create a record. That means this URL should be routed to which URL? This URL should be routed to which URL? This URL should be routed to load balancer URL, or this URL should be routed to S3 bucket URL. That I need to configure as a record. Now click on create record option. Create record option. Don't enter anything for the record name. Don't enter anything for the record name. Leave it blank. That means this is my final URL, ashokit.org. This is the URL I want to use. So don't give any record name. Now, next one, record type. What you want to do? I want to route the traffic to IPv4 address and some AWS resources. Whatever the request is coming, I want to route the request. Whatever the request is coming to this URL, I want to route the request. Right? How you want to route it? Do you have a particular IP to route it? If you have a server IP address 192.168.1.1. So now, if your application is running in some IP address, this is the machine where the IP is available for that machine. Now, when the user access this URL, I want to route the request to this IP. This IP is my server machine, my machine. That is the configuration. Now, I don't want to give any IP. I want to route the request to S3 bucket. I want to route the request to S3 bucket. Select alias. When I select a alias, route the traffic to what? Do you want to route it to API gateway? Do you want to route it to application load balancer? Do you want to route it to Beanstack? Do you want to route it to VPC? Do you want to route to S3? I want to route to S3. Where is my website available? My website is available in the S3. I'm creating a record. I'm not entering anything for the record name. I selected the record type as route the traffic. Static website endpoint. Where is my website? I have selected alias. If you have the IP of the server, give the IP. But now my server is not there. My project is in the S3. Select alias. Select alias. Configure S3 website endpoint. Region. In which region my bucket available? In Mumbai region. What is the name of my bucket? This is my bucket name. This is my bucket URL. ashokit.org I have given as a bucket URL name. Na? ashokit.org is the endpoint of my bucket. My bucket URL. I selected this bucket URL. Simple routing. Click on create record. My record is created. View the status of this record. View status of the record. My record is created. Status is still pending. Status is still pending. It will take 1 minute to configure the DNS, guys. It will take 1 minute to configure the DNS. You refresh it. Still it is pending. I'm creating a record. What is the meaning of record? This mapping. Route 53 record. What is this, guys? route 53 record. When the request comes to this domain, then my request, my route 53 record is mapping that to this IP, or it is mapping to S3 bucket. Now here, whenever a request comes, now there is a route 53 record. There is a route 53 record. What the route 53 record is doing? When user access ashokid.org, route 53 record is routing to S3 bucket URL. That's it. Now, can you see what it is saying? In sync or not? In sync or not? Now go to ashokid.org. If you want, you can test the record also. Is that whatever the DNS configuration I have done, whatever the DNS configuration I have done, is it working or not? We can check it. Test record. Record to test. Record to test. What record we want to test? ashokit.org. ashokit.org. Test, get response. Non-existence. ashokit.org. Record name. ashokit.org. Hosted zone. Get response. Why it is giving this? Now can you try this? ashokit.org. The site cannot be reached. 1 second. Is there any mistake in the record creation? ashokit.org. This is the record. Edit this record. Route 53. Static website endpoint. Website URL. Simple routing. Save it. Yeah. Select this. Save it. Record is updated successfully. It is pending. It should come to sync mode. It should come to sync mode. It came to sync mode. Now go to this bucket, hoster zone, ashokit.org. Copy this. What happened? Route 53. Hosted zone. View details. Yeah, DNS response code, no error. We got the response. ashokit.org. Let's type this. One second, guys, something is missed. Is that S3 bucket URL is working? Can you guys check that? Is that S3 is working fine? Whatever the URL that I have given in the chat. That is working fine. S3 buckets. ashokit.org. Permissions are there, properties are there. Static website hosting URL. Yeah, this way, this URL is working fine. There is no issue with that. The issue with only this route 53. Hosted zone. Few details. Edit the hosted zone. Hosted zone name ashokit.org. Record count 3. Tags. Save the changes. Nothing to do. Is the spelling correct? shokit.org. That's fine. Click on the save changes. This is the record. Click on edit record. Mumbai region. S3 website app endpoint. Save it. View the status. Status is correct, in sync. We are able to test it also. Test the record. Get response. I'm getting the response successfully. Response returned by route 53. Response from route 53 based on the following options. The hosted zone is ashokit.org. Let's wait for 1 minute, guys. Maybe it's taking some time. The DNS name, that whatever I have purchased the domain name, I have configured that domain name to my S3 bucket URL. So when we access this URL, it should route the traffic to this bucket URL. There my static website is running. And this is my domain name URL. No, this is static website URL. This is the actual domain name. Let me delete the host zone. Let me create again. Yeah, I have deleted this hosted zone. Let me delete this also. Yep, fine. No hosted zones are available. Go to dashboard. One domain is available. Register domains. Domain registration successful. Create a hosted zone. Domain name, that is ashokit.org. Public hosted zone. Public hosted zone I am choosing. Is there anywhere protocol? No. Creating that zone. So whenever I create the zone, by default, these two files are coming. Now I need to create a record to map it actually. Yeah. IPv4 address, alias, choose the endpoint S3 bucket endpoint, choose the region as Mumbai, endpoint name, it's coming by default. It's coming by default. Click on create record. Record for this domain is created successfully. Record type A and S3 bucket URL. View status. Let's wait. It is in sync. Test that record. Hosted zone ashokit.org. On get response. I'm getting response successfully from the DNS. If there is a problem, then we should not get this success. There is no error in this DNS. Get response. The response is coming successfully. www.ashokit.org. No, subdomains are not required, guys. Actually, today morning I have tried when I purchased the domain, it was working. Today morning when I purchased the domain, I configured this also, that was working. Subdomain we no need to purchase. So one domain is sufficient to divert the traffic. Maybe it's taking time to apply those changes for mapping. I'm checking for that. This value seems correct. Response from route 53 based on the following options. For this domain, route 53 giving the success response. There is no error at all. Let's wait another 1 minute and see. If not working, then I can see this in the tomorrow session. So guys, it's not routing the traffic to that URL. We will discuss this in the tomorrow session. I will see what is the issue. Fine. Yeah. So you guys can practice that static website hosting. I have shared the files for the static website hosting. You practice this. And as I have already purchased a domain, I am trying to route the traffic from my domain URL to this static website URL. So it's not routing the traffic actually. So what is the issue? I will check it once again. So tomorrow I will tell you how to route the traffic. Is there any mistake in the configuration? I will troubleshoot that and we'll cover the topic in the tomorrow class. Tomorrow we have class at same time. Okay, fine. Thank you guys. Good night.